I never expected a simple Tuesday to change everything. The phone rang while I was peeling carrots in the kitchen. The ringtone was shrill, insistent, almost urgent. My heart jumped. I didn't recognize the number. Hello, I said cautiously. Hanabanu. The voice was cold, formal. Not quite a stranger, but not someone I knew either. Yes, who is this? My hand shook slightly. Something in the tone made the room feel colder. This is regarding your family accounts. There's been unusual activity. You need to act immediately. My stomach sank. Accounts? What activity? I had done nothing unusual. I glanced toward the living room. My mother-in-law, Syra, was scrolling on her tablet, humming, blissfully unaware. Unusual activity? Are you serious? I asked, my voice tighter than I wanted. You need to contact your bank immediately, ma'am. Otherwise, there may be consequences. The line went dead. I stood frozen. Consequences? My hands felt clammy. I turned to my mother-in-law. Syra, all the cards blocked. My voice was barely a whisper. What? Why? Her face twisted in confusion, then panic. I shook my head. I don't know yet. The call just came. Her tablet clattered onto the floor. Blocked? How is that even possible? I just paid for groceries yesterday. I don't know, but I'm calling the bank now. I dialed quickly, but the line rang endlessly. Busy. Are you telling me we can't even pay for lunch? She said, her voice rising. Her eyes darted toward the clock. We are meeting your brother-in-law and his wife today. I froze. Lunch. The thought made my stomach twist. I had promised her a pleasant outing. Something small, a treat, to ease the tension in the family after recent arguments. And now humiliation loomed. By the time the line connected, I was already imagining the worst. The waiter, the embarrassed look, my mother-in-law's fury. Hello, this is the bank, a calm voice greeted. Please, tell me what's happening. I practically yelled into the phone. There has been suspicious activity on your accounts, ma'am. All cards are temporarily blocked. We need verification before any transactions can resume. I felt a cold sweat settle on my back. Suspicious activity? Who would do this? Verify? What would you need? Can you confirm recent transactions, ma'am? I gave them the details I could recall, but each second felt heavier, suffocating. I could hear Syra pacing behind me. Her murmurs sounded sharp. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous, she muttered. How can anyone block all our cards at once? Who even has the audacity? I swallowed. I don't know, Syra. Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe I trailed off. The thought of being humiliated in public made my stomach knot. Later that afternoon, we left for the restaurant. I tried to calm my nerves, tried to play it cool. But inside, I was a storm of panic. Every step, every car honk, every laughing couple outside felt like a reminder that disaster awaited. When we arrived, the restaurant was buzzing. Families, chatter, the clink of glasses. I could feel the tension in my chest growing. My hands fumbled with my purse. I prayed the bank would somehow fix this before we even reached the table. We sat, menus in hand. I felt Syra's eyes boring into mine. You did this, didn't you? She whispered, sharp. I blinked. I did what? You know, some bank mistake. Somehow you. I didn't do anything, I said firmly, though my voice shook. She huffed and muttered under her breath. I could feel her judgment. Everyone else at the table would see. They would know. Finally, the waiter came. We ordered. Drinks first, appetizers next, and then it was time to pay. I handed my card to the waiter. The machine beeped and froze. Declined, the waiter said politely. I felt heat rush to my face. My throat went dry. I tried another card. Declined. Syra's hand flew to her mouth. What, why? Her eyes were wide, angry. How can this happen? I opened my purse, frantic. Cash. Barely enough to cover one appetizer. I think all cards are blocked, I admitted, voice shaking. I don't know why. Laughter from another table drifted toward us. Not loud, just ordinary, but it felt like a spotlight on our shame. Syra slammed her hand on the table. Forks rattled. Napkins fluttered. Heads turned. I could feel the waiter's pity, his forced smile. You mean to tell me we can't pay? She demanded, voice trembling between rage and humiliation. I swallowed hard. I don't know what to do. Tears pricked my eyes. The room blurred. I could see the anger in Cyrus' eyes, the disappointment, the betrayal. Then a familiar voice. Nana, everything okay? My brother-in-law, Fahad, appeared beside our table, holding his phone. His smile faltered when he saw us. All the cards blocked, Cyrus spat out. He frowned. All of them? Yes, all of them, she shouted. Do you know what that feels like? Sitting here, humiliated, unable to pay for lunch? Fahad's eyebrows knitted. Wait, let me check something. He swiped his phone and whispered something to his wife. They exchanged glances, shocked. What is it? I asked. Hannah clawed at me. My card just went through, Fahad said slowly. We can pay. I froze. What do you mean? All of them blocked. He shook his head. No, not all. Just yours and Cyrus. Syra gasped. What? Why? The air was heavy with silence. I could feel the weight of every eye on our table. Judgment, curiosity, pity. I wanted to disappear. I wanted the floor to open and swallow me whole. Fahad's voice cut through my panic. Someone tried to manipulate your accounts. It looks like internal. Someone who knows you. My heart stopped. Internal? Someone close to me? Syra grabbed my arm. Who, Hannah? Who would do this to us? I had no answer. My mind raced. Husband? In-laws? Staff? Who could hold such a grudge that they would humiliate us publicly? I swallowed, tears streaming down my face. I don't know. But I have to find out. The waiter returned, now more polite than ever, trying to defuse the tension. Shall I split the bill? I shook my head. No, I need to handle this myself. Syra leaned close. Hannah, be careful. Whoever did this, they're dangerous. I nodded, but the truth was, I didn't know where to start. I didn't know who to trust. And that was only the beginning. The restaurant doors swung open behind us, and the cold wind hit my face. It wasn't just the chill. It was the weight of what had just happened pressing down on me. All the cards blocked. Humiliation. Public eyes staring. And Cyrus' judgment, sharp, unrelenting, burning into my skin. I tried to swallow, to calm my racing thoughts, but my stomach knotted tighter with each step toward the car. Did everyone notice? Syra muttered, her voice trembling, half anger, half shame. I don't think so, I whispered, though my heart didn't believe me. I could feel the weight of invisible eyes, the waiter's forced politeness, the curious glance from the table across from us. Not think so, she snapped. Hannah, I felt everyone's eyes on us. Everyone. They saw. They knew. We looked pathetic. I flinched. Pathetic. The word stung more than the cold, more than the embarrassment. I wanted to shrink into nothing, disappear. We sat in the car, engine running, silence hanging like a thick fog. My mind was spinning. Who would block all our cards? And why? Maybe it's a mistake, I offered tentatively. Cyrus scoffed. A mistake? All the cards? Hannah, this is deliberate. Someone wanted us to look like fools. I swallowed. My thoughts drifted to the call from the bank. Internal manipulation, they said. Someone close. Someone who knew how to humiliate us publicly. Someone who wanted me to feel small. Her eyes narrowed. Internal? You think someone in the family? I didn't answer. Because yes, I did. My mind flashed to my husband, my brother-in-law, even distant cousins. Anyone with access, anyone who might bear a grudge. But I couldn't even form the words. The thought alone made my chest tighten. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Syra pressed, voice low, almost conspiratorial. I shook my head. I don't know. I don't want to think that way about the family. She sighed, leaning back, her hands gripping the steering wheel. Hannah, you need to be careful. Whoever did this, they're not just playing games. They're dangerous. The word hit me like a fist. Dangerous. Not petty. Not random. Deliberate. Malicious. Lunch had been bad, but the fallout was worse. Back at home, I tried to piece together what had happened. Cards blocked. Bank call. Internal manipulation. My hand shook as I scrolled through messages, transactions, anything that might give me a clue. Nothing. Syra hovered behind me, arms crossed. Nothing, she demanded. Nothing, I said. My voice cracked. It's like someone erased everything. All traces. No transactions, no clues. Nothing. She shook her head. This isn't just money. It's power, Hannah. They want to control us. To make us helpless. I felt a chill. Power. Control. It sounded like something out of a thriller, not my quiet, predictable life. Then my phone buzzed. A message. Unknown number. Enjoy your little lunch? I froze. My pulse thundered. My hands trembled as I showed Syra. She read it. Pale. Hannah. This is someone watching. Someone knows. I nodded, swallowing hard. The taste of fear was bitter. I felt small, exposed, vulnerable. Should we call the police? I asked, though my voice barely rose above a whisper. Syra shook her head. Not yet. Not until we know who. The last thing we want is to alert them. I could feel her tension radiating, and it made my own nerves fray even more. The next morning, I tried to go about my routine, but every thought returned to the lunch disaster. Every sound outside our window felt suspicious. Every phone call sent my heart into a panic. At breakfast, Syra was unusually quiet. She poked at her eggs, eyes distant. You're thinking about yesterday, aren't you? I asked cautiously. She looked up, eyes sharp. Of course I am. Do you think I can forget being humiliated like that? No, no one could, I admitted. My own shame still burned. Her gaze softened slightly. Hannah, I don't mean to be harsh, but you need to understand we're in danger. They want to hurt us, and the first step is making us look weak. I swallowed. Weak. That word echoed through my mind. I had felt weak yesterday. Powerless. Exposed. Then the phone rang again. Unknown number. I froze. Syra's hand went to my shoulder. Don't answer it. But I did. Hello. I whispered. Did you enjoy lunch? The voice was different this time. Mocking. Almost playful. I choked on my fear. Who is this? There was a pause. Then, you'll find out soon enough. The line went dead. Syra gripped my hand. Hannah, this isn't just about money. They're playing with your mind. Be careful. Watch everyone. Trust no one. My stomach turned. Trust no one. Even my own family? Could it be someone close? Someone who knows me intimately? Someone who could anticipate every move, every habit, every reaction? The thought made my chest tighten. I wanted to scream, but the words wouldn't come. By mid-afternoon, I forced myself out of the house. I had errands to run, appointments, things to distract me. But everywhere I went, the memory of lunch haunted me. Every cashier glance, every card machine beep, every whisper felt like judgment. At the grocery store, I tried to use my card. Declined. My face went hot. I turned to Syra, who had followed me. Not again. She shook her head. We can't go anywhere like this. Not until we find out who did this. A man in the next aisle glanced at me strangely. I wondered if he could see the panic written on my face. If he knew. I wanted to hide. To vanish. To escape the humiliation, the shame, the fear. And yet, I couldn't. Because someone out there was controlling everything. Someone who knew me, my habits, my life. Someone close. That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind raced. Every possibility. Every suspicion. Every face in my family. Could it be my husband? His brother? Cousins? The housekeeper? Someone at the bank? Every thought led to a dead end. Every suspicion made me feel guilty. I didn't want to believe anyone in my family could hurt me. But the evidence, it was undeniable. I sat by the window, looking out at the quiet street. The streetlights flickered. Shadows moved. I felt watched, vulnerable, afraid. And then, I heard a soft beep. My phone. Unknown number. I froze. My heart leapt. A message appeared. Check the safe. They won't look there. I stared at the screen. My hands trembled. My mind spun. Syra, sleeping in the next room, was unaware. Unaware that the storm was no longer outside. That the danger was inside. That The humiliation was only the beginning. I couldn't sleep that night. Not after the messages. Not after the humiliation. Not after knowing deep in my bones that someone close was orchestrating this. The safe. That cursed, locked box sitting in the corner of our bedroom. I had avoided it for years. Its contents were never my concern. Syra never trusted me near it. But now, the message had changed everything. Check the safe. They won't look there. Who were they? Who was they? And why was someone daring me, taunting me? I tiptoed to the bedroom, careful not to wake Syra. Her soft breathing was steady, unaware of the storm around her. I opened the safe slowly. The lock clicked ominously. My hand shook. Inside envelopes, files, receipts, a stack of old letters, yellowed at the edges, and at the very bottom a small USB drive. I hesitated. A part of me screamed to leave it alone. But another part, angry, desperate, afraid, needed answers. I plugged it into my laptop. Files appeared. Bank statements, transfers. Hundreds of thousands moved in ways I didn't recognize. Some accounts I didn't even know existed. Some transfers traced to family members. My stomach turned. No, no, this can't be real. I leaned back, the chair creaking under me. My thoughts were a whirlwind. Could it be? Syra? My husband? Fahad? Cousins? The people I called family? I heard a noise behind me. Footsteps. Slow. Measured. Who's there? I whispered, panic clawing at my throat. No answer. Just silence. But the hair on my arm stood on end. I shut the laptop. Pretended to be asleep when Syra stirred, murmuring in her sleep. The next morning, tension sat heavy like a storm cloud over the house. I couldn't eat. I couldn't focus. Every glance from Syra was filled with unspoken questions. Are you okay? She asked finally. Her voice soft, cautious. I nodded. Just tired, that's all. She studied me. Hannah, something's happening. I feel it. Something big. Something that touches all of us. I wanted to tell her everything. I wanted to scream. But the fear of betrayal held my tongue. At breakfast, the atmosphere was thick with tension. My husband, Armin, joined us late. His usual morning cheer was missing. He sipped his coffee, avoiding eye contact. Everything all right? I asked casually, trying to sound normal. Yes, fine, he said, but I could hear the edge. Just busy. Busy. Always busy when something was wrong. My suspicion grew. Syra leaned close. Hannah, watch him. I wanted to protest, to say I wouldn't, that I couldn't think that way about my husband. But the thought of yesterday's humiliation, the blocked cards, the messages, it gnawed at me. Days passed. Small things added up. Armin's phone always face down. Files deleted from shared computers. Cash withdrawals I didn't recognize. A cousin who accidentally asked questions about our finances. Even the housekeeper, who had always been loyal, now seemed nervous when I asked simple questions. Every interaction felt layered. Every smile seemed calculated. Every casual conversation felt like a trap. I began keeping notes. Names, dates, transactions, conversations, every little detail that might point to who was behind the disaster. And then I noticed something disturbing. Fahad, my brother-in-law, the one who had helped at lunch, was suddenly acting different. Nervous, avoiding my eyes, touching his phone constantly, whispering with his wife when they thought no one was looking. Was he involved? Or was he just cautious? One evening, I confronted Syra quietly in the kitchen. Something is going on, I said. I can feel it. Someone is watching. Someone is manipulating us. And I think someone close is involved. She sighed, her hands trembling as she clutched a tea mug. I felt it too. Ever since the cards, ever since that lunch. But Hannah, it's worse than you think. It's not just about money. It's about power and loyalty and betrayal. I swallowed hard. Betrayal? From who? She shook her head. I can't say yet. But everyone, your husband, your brother-in-law, even distant relatives, they all have secrets. And someone has been planning this for a long time. I felt the room close in on me. My hand shook. How long? Long enough, she said, her voice low, tense. Long enough for us to be trapped in this humiliation and fear. Her words hit me like a punch. Trapped, humiliated, afraid. Exactly what I had felt at the restaurant. Exactly what I had felt at the grocery store. That night, I decided I couldn't wait. I had to find out the truth. I pulled out my notes, the files from the safe, the bank statements, the letters. I started cross-referencing transactions. Patterns began to emerge. Certain amounts transferred repeatedly, certain names appearing over and over, and then a familiar signature. A family member's signature. I froze. My mind screamed. No, it can't be not them. But the evidence was undeniable. Someone I trusted, someone I loved, had betrayed me, had humiliated me, had tried to take everything, my dignity, my money, my peace. My hands trembled as I read the words on the screen. The handwriting, the transfers, the dates, it was too precise to be a mistake. Too deliberate, too personal. The next morning, I watched my family carefully. Every glance, every gesture, every casual comment. I was a hawk, hunting for the tiniest clue. Syra noticed my behavior. Hannah, don't let them see you watching. It's dangerous. I have to, I whispered. I need to know who did this. I can't live like this. She nodded, I sad. I know, but be careful. You're already on their radar. One wrong move, and they'll know you're suspicious. Later that day, I caught a conversation I wasn't supposed to hear. Fahad, whispering with his wife in the garden. She's looking at the safe, he said. Don't let her find out yet, his wife replied. My heart stopped. The safe, the USB, everything I had discovered. They knew I had seen something. I backed away quietly, my chest pounding. My mind raced. I had to act carefully. If they suspected me, if they knew I was onto them, there was no telling what they would do next. And then I realized I couldn't trust anyone. Not a single person in the house. Not even Syra. Not even Armin. I was alone. Alone and in danger. The night was thick with silence, but my mind was louder than a storm. I couldn't sleep. Couldn't stop thinking. Whoever had blocked our cards, whoever had sent those messages, and whoever had manipulated the safe, they weren't just someone distant. They were here, in my house, close, watching, smiling, waiting for me to break. I couldn't wait anymore. I grabbed the folder of notes I'd compiled, the files from the safe, the USB drive. Every transaction, every message, every suspicious movement was there. I didn't know how it would end, but I had to confront someone tonight. I had to find out the truth. I walked quietly to the living room. Syra was asleep on the couch, her soft snores a reminder that the world outside my mind still existed. I couldn't let her see my panic. Not now. Not ever. I heard a door creak. Armin, my husband. He paused, sensing my presence. Hannah, he asked, voice low, uncertain. What are you doing up? I held the folder tightly, my nails digging into the paper. Armin, we need to talk. Now. His face shifted. Confusion. Concern. And then, I saw it. A flicker. Just a flicker, but enough. Fear. Guilt? Something. About what? He asked cautiously. You know what? Don't play dumb, I said, my voice sharper than I intended. The cards, the bank calls, the messages, the safe. Don't pretend you don't know anything. Armin froze. I could see the tension in his shoulders. His eyes darted to the hallway, then back to me. I don't know what you mean, he said slowly. I laughed bitterly, a short, harsh sound that made the hairs on my arms stand on end. Don't lie to me. Don't. I saw the transfers. I saw the files in the safe, the money moving, the signatures. You were part of it. He stepped back, almost stumbling over the coffee table. Hannah, that's not what you think. Not what I think. I cut him off, voice trembling with rage and fear. The cards were blocked. I was humiliated in public. Someone was watching me. And now you're pretending innocence. He ran his hands through his hair. I didn't block the cards. I didn't. Then who did? I demanded. My chest felt tight, tears stinging my eyes. Tell me. Someone I trusted. Someone close. I need to know who is playing with my life. He shook his head. It wasn't me, it wasn't me. Hannah, please. I could see the truth, or at least part of it, in his eyes. Someone else. Someone else was behind this. But the fear on his face told me he knew more than he was saying. I paced. The folder crumpled in my hands. If it's not you, then tell me who it is. Don't make me guess. Don't make me figure it out by myself. Armin's jaw tightened. Silence filled the room. Then, finally, he whispered, almost too softly to hear. It's Fahad. My heart froze. My brother-in-law. Fahad. I couldn't breathe. My hands dropped to my sides. Fahad? Are you serious? He nodded slowly. Yes. He's been jealous. Obsessed with control. He saw the money, the family, the respect. He wanted it all. He blocked the cards, manipulated the accounts, sent the messages, everything. I wanted to scream, to hit something, to make the walls echo with my anger. Betrayal. Complete, visceral betrayal. And the safe. I whispered. The files, the transfers? Armin looked away, ashamed. He forced me to cooperate. I didn't want to, Hannah. But he threatened threats. I couldn't stop him. Not then. I felt sick. Nausea hit my stomach. My hand shook. I wanted to run, to hide, to vanish. But I couldn't. I had to face this. I had to confront Fahad. You're telling me my own brother-in-law, the one I trusted, ruined everything? Humiliated me? Threatened you? My voice cracked. Rage and disbelief mingling into something sharp and bitter. Yes, Armin admitted quietly. He wanted power, control, and he didn't care who he hurt to get it. I couldn't stop trembling. Every nerve in my body screamed. I wanted answers, revenge, and justice, and yet fear kept me rooted. Fahad wasn't just cruel. He was dangerous, calculated. I thought back to lunch. The laughter, the whispers, the pitying looks. Every humiliating second orchestrated by him. Every blocked card, every whispered message, his work. I had underestimated him. I took a deep breath, trying to steady my shaking hands. Where is he now? Armin hesitated. In his room. He doesn't know you know yet. I swallowed hard. Good. Then I'll confront him. Tonight. Alone. Armin's face went pale. Hannah, be careful. He's not just a brat. He's dangerous. I don't want to lose you too. I looked at him, my eyes blazing. I'm not afraid. Not anymore. He needs to be stopped. Later, I approached Fahad's room. Every step was deliberate. Quiet. Calculated. My heart hammered in my chest like a drum. I gripped the folder tightly. Evidence of his betrayal. I knocked once. Twice. No answer. I pushed the door open. Fahad sat at his desk, scrolling on his phone. He looked up, eyes narrowing. Hannah, what are you doing here? I slammed the folder onto his desk. I know everything. Every transfer. Every blocked card. Every message. I know you did this. He smirked, leaning back. So, you finally figured it out? My hand shook. You humiliated us. You threatened my family. Why? Why? He laughed, a cold, cruel sound that made my blood run cold. Because I wanted what you have. Because I wanted respect. Control. Because I could. I wanted to scream. To hit him. To rip him apart. But I stayed calm, breathing through the rage. And the threats to Armin? To Syra? To me. All part of the game, he said casually. I never imagined you would actually confront me. Clever girl. I slammed my hands on the desk, making the folder leap into the air. This ends now, Fahad. Do you hear me? Now. He leaned forward, eyes flashing, dangerous. And what will you do, Nana May? Call the police? Expose me? Go public? Think carefully. Everything you touch, everything you accuse me of, I control the narrative. I control the evidence. I control. I stood there, shaking with fear and fury. Every nerve screamed at me. But deep inside, I realized something. He was proud, arrogant. He thought he could manipulate us forever. But he had underestimated me. And that was his first mistake.